Imagine looking up at the sky and spotting a strange aircraft flying near one of the most tense regions in the world. The Pentagon hasn't said much, and experts are quietly watching. Today, we'll break down what we know about these mysterious U.S. aircraft near Iran and why it matters. Hey everyone, did you hear about the unusual U.S. aircraft spotted near Iran? It's one of those situations where silence from the Pentagon speaks louder than any statement. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand what's happening, why it's happening, and what it might mean for the region. I promise this video won't exaggerate or guess wildly. We'll go step by step, explaining the aircraft sightings, the possible reasons behind them, and how analysts are interpreting the events. Even if you aren't an expert, you'll leave with a clear understanding of a complex topic. Let's start with the basics. Reports have surfaced that a U.S. aircraft, type not officially confirmed, was seen flying near Iran's airspace. Sometimes these aircraft are spotted by commercial planes, satellites, or even local radar systems. But what makes this unusual is the timing and the silence. Imagine a quiet afternoon, then suddenly radar detects a high-altitude, fast-moving aircraft. People notice, experts start analyzing, but there's no official word. That's exactly what's happening here. Example, think of it like seeing a rare bird in your backyard. You don't know if it's just passing through or if it's part of a bigger pattern. Analysts are trying to figure that out. What type of aircraft could it be? Now you might be wondering, what kind of aircraft flies near Iran without an announcement? There are a few possibilities. Reconnaissance or surveillance planes. These can collect information from a safe distance. They often fly high above borders to monitor activity. Special operations aircraft. Some planes are designed to be less visible on radar and can gather intelligence without being easily detected. Support or transport planes. Occasionally, aircraft are sent to test air defense responses or to support other operations nearby. Once, in a similar situation years ago, a surveillance plane flew near a tense border. No one knew its exact mission. Later, it was revealed that it was monitoring environmental changes in the region, not preparing for a strike. This shows that appearances can be deceiving. Why the Pentagon is silent? So why hasn't the Pentagon said anything? There are a few reasons. Operational security. Revealing information about aircraft movements could compromise missions. Diplomatic caution. Public statements might escalate tensions in an already sensitive area. Ongoing analysis. Sometimes officials are still verifying details before making a comment. If you've ever wondered why governments sometimes stay quiet, this is a perfect example. Silence doesn't always mean danger. It can mean careful planning. Context: U.S.-Iran tensions. To understand the bigger picture, let's talk about the region. The U.S. and Iran have had a tense relationship for decades. There have been sanctions, negotiations, and military standoffs. Airspace near Iran is closely monitored by both sides, which makes sightings like this particularly interesting. Small example, in 2019, a similar aircraft was detected near Iranian waters. Analysts later said it was testing radar responses. No shots were fired. But the event drew global attention because of how tense the region was at the time. So when a new aircraft appears, people pay attention. It could be routine, or it could be strategic. Analysts are trying to figure out which it is this time. Possible missions of the aircraft. Let's break down what the aircraft might be doing. Intelligence gathering. Sometimes these flights monitor shipping lanes, radar activity, or military exercises. Deterrence. Flying near a tense area can send a subtle message without any direct action. Testing equipment or responses. Aircraft can test how air defense systems react, which helps in planning future operations. Direct engagement line. What do you think? Routine surveillance or something more? Drop your thoughts in the comments. It's always interesting to see different perspectives. 6. How analysts interpret this. Experts are cautious. Some say it's routine. Others note the timing may be linked to recent political events in the region. For example, sometimes aircraft are spotted after sanctions, meetings, or military drills. Analysts look at patterns, flight path, altitude, type of aircraft, and nearby activity. Last year, a similar scenario had analysts tracking multiple flights over weeks. Each flight alone seemed normal, but together they suggested a larger operational picture. That's why a single sighting can be significant. 7. Public reaction and speculation. Naturally, people online are talking. Some speculate a new aircraft is being tested. Others wonder if it's a warning to Iran. It's important to note that speculation doesn't equal fact. Official confirmations can take time, and sometimes the real mission is never publicly explained. If you're like me, it's hard not to be curious. But staying patient and looking at verified sources helps avoid jumping to conclusions. 8. What this means for the region. So should we be worried? Maybe, maybe not. These flights can sometimes indicate tension, but not necessarily conflict. They can also be routine monitoring or preparation for exercises. Analysts use these events to anticipate future moves, but nothing is guaranteed. Think of it like watching someone at the gym. They could be warming up or they could be preparing for a big lift. You don't know exactly until the action happens. How the US and Iran usually react. Historically, the US sometimes avoids public comments to prevent escalation. Iran often tracks aircraft closely and occasionally issues warnings if borders are approached. Media and independent analysts fill in gaps when official statements are scarce. So, while silence can feel tense, it's often part of normal protocol. Why you should keep watching these updates. Even if today's aircraft sighting doesn't lead to immediate events, it's part of a bigger picture. Watching these developments helps you understand how nations manage tensions quietly, the role of intelligence and surveillance in modern military strategy, how subtle actions can send strong messages without direct conflict. Direct engagement line. If you're fascinated by how air operations, diplomacy, and strategy come together, this is exactly the kind of story that helps you connect the dots. Key takeaways. Let's summarize. A U.S. aircraft was spotted near Iran, but details are scarce. The Pentagon often remains silent for security and diplomatic reasons. The aircraft could be conducting intelligence, deterrence, or testing operations. Analysts carefully interpret these flights by looking at patterns, context, and timing. Silence doesn't always mean conflict. It can mean careful planning. By understanding these points, you get a clearer picture of how subtle military actions operate in tense regions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe for more.